Welcome to your Daily Writing Habit, episode number 248. If you're writing a book or thinking about it or trying to finish a book that you've started or trying to reach more readers to let them know about your book, you are in the right place. Good morning and happy Sunday. I'm your host, Christine Whitmarsh. If you're looking for me online, look for Christine Inc., I-N-K, christine-inc.com. Each day, I share with you the writing habits I've learned over my 18 years as a ghostwriter, book coach, and author. I have found that three things in particular have a huge impact on your success as an author, and they have the ability to turn someone who doesn't necessarily even see themselves as a writer into a published author. Those three things are writing fundamentals, productivity, and mindset habits. Well, once again, good morning and happy Sunday, since the live version of this episode is airing on a Sunday. What I do on Sundays, rather than giving you specific tips and strategies about writing your book, as I usually do, we kick back a little bit and have something I call Sunday Story Time, where I read an excerpt from a finished product, from an actual book, usually either my own or my clients or kind of friends of the ink, folks that are kind of in my circle. So at the end of the excerpt, I do make it about you by posing a learning question that will hopefully help you with your own writing. So this week's book that I'm pulling off my shelf here, it's from one of my clients. It's called Red, White, and Latina, Our American Identity, and it's by Christina Perez, the lovely Judge Christina Perez, 3-time Emmy winner and all the things, and longtime very good friend. So it's a great book she wrote, where there's a great line I just spotted on the back. It says, "Has the great melting pot of America turned into the great boiling pot?" So really interesting book here. I wouldn't call it political as much as her attempt to reunify us as a country, especially by connecting with her Latina roots and all the pieces of her American identity and encouraging us to do the same. So here is an excerpt from Red, White, and Latina. There is a percentage of the online population at this very moment which is shouting people into submission, bullying and shaming others into agreeing with their beliefs. Bullies naturally get attention through force. People are afraid to challenge them, or else they assume the bullies must know what they're talking about because they're so loud. Social media has spawned a particularly fearless type of loudmouth, the anonymous bully who becomes braver by the day because of the low probability of ever facing any consequences of his or her words and actions. The audacity of these bullies' actions, quite frankly, is epic. Political pundits in the media have created job security based upon this aspect of human nature. Whomever yells the loudest seems to draw out the opposition and win the debate. Now, the bullies on social media have followed in the pundits' footsteps. Unfortunately, their tactic is working just as well in that environment. The louder the social media bullies yell, the harder it is to hear the other side. And after a while, many people will shrug their shoulders, give up, and decide to agree with the bullies rather than working out informed opinions of their own. This can be comforting, the knowledge that we've picked a side, settled on a point of view, and carried on with life. In a way, it's easier to hide behind these bullies and their bullhorns than it is to express one's own voice. But once we've picked a side, why stop and listen to the other point of view, when it's so much easier to swim in the calm, comforting waters of what we think we know? We've stopped listening to anything we don't want to hear, anything that is in opposition to our own point of view, or anything that challenges us. We've decided to reject conflicting opinions, seeing them as threats. In order to protect this sense of mental security and moral superiority, we go to battle not only with anonymous strangers, but also with our friends, coworkers, even family members. There are no victors, only victims, all fighting to be heard, but in the worst possible ways. Once again, that is an excerpt from a client book, Christina Perez. It's called Red, White, and Latina, Our American Identity. Highly encourage everyone to get a copy of this. It's on Amazon. And today's learning question is more of a point than a question. The way that Christina, in the excerpt that I just read, she used her book as something much more powerful than any social media rant that I've ever seen. So a book can be a much more powerful tool. So again, not as much a study question as something to think about, that a book because it's cohesive, comprehensive, and well thought out and takes a lot more time to put together than a social media post or a YouTube video, a book still has a kind of power to impact people that other communication mediums simply do not. Just something to think about, because we have so many communication mediums kind of vying for our attention these days. And I'm not discounting any of them, because I believe there's a great purpose, especially depending on what your brand is. There is a great purpose for every type of communication medium. But there's still something about a book, because it's so solid and it takes so much work, and it's really just woven together in such an intentional and specific and clear way. You just put a lot of work into a book. And I believe that's why books still have a level of impact that you could say it's better than the other communication mediums, or at very least you could say it's different. It's a different type of impact that doesn't happen in other types of mediums. So this is why you see, people seeking it out, whether they like to listen to audiobooks or ebooks or print books. People are still seeking out books when they want that real solid experience of, really exploring an author's point of view and getting the full story and the full point of view. Again, things that you just don't get on some of the other more fragmented communication mediums. So books have power. Books have impact. Write one. Thank you for joining me here on Your Daily Writing Habit, where I'm helping you write and finish writing an awesome book. Be sure and drop by my Inc. Authors group on Facebook or LinkedIn. Inc. Authors for motivation, accountability, book writing, publishing resources, anything you need to help you get your book done. And if you know someone else who's looking to write a book, please let them know about Your Daily Writing Habit. They can listen on Amazon Alexa or wherever they get their podcasts. Thank you, and until tomorrow, happy writing.